Okay, now we are ready to extract the tabs. So these are the tabs for what we call a long track machine. A short track machine won't have these, it will have only two of the others. So at the moment we bring them back, Andreas, over there. Usually we just lay them approximately where they need to be. So now we extract what we call the short track tabs. A rough layout where the machine is going to go, where the tabs are going to go. Be careful. The right-hand side will have to have these plates welded in. The left-hand side hasn't got it. On the rear tabs, they're exactly the same. They can be exchanged left to right. These are called the surround sections. You can see one part is longer than the other one. The longer one belongs to the front tab section. These are the ones that we're now going to use as jigs. So undo them. Bring them out, and they will be the jig for this tab section. What we're doing now is, this jig has two holes in here, and these two holes line up with the middle hole in the actual tab. And if we bring them in here, and I'll put mine down first if you don't mind. So this pops in here, and this bolt goes in here. And then we'll do the same on this side. So the same will happen on the front. Again, these holes will line up with the middle hole. And just drop them in like so. So now what we've got is a complete square. You can't go wrong anymore. If you want to double check, then measure outside to outside. It should have 2,130 millimeter approximately. So now we straighten the whole structure so it is parallel to where we actually want to install the system. Use this line here, for instance, to level it out. You can also use a wall, anything like that, to just straighten it out. So here we got. So now we've got the two tabs leveled out, square to where we want to install them. So now we are ready to get our hammer drill ready and our markers ready, and we'll basically drill the dyno bolt holes and start bolting them down. Use a marker and we mark the actual tabs where they are. So afterwards, when we take the jig off, we know exactly where the tabs go back into it again. So we've made it even easier for you to install a safety stop. And what we have done is we have semi-assembled the front tabs for you already. If you install it this way and if your machine comes this way, the easiest thing is to just use an engine crane or anything like that to lift it up, because the plates are now heavier than the 35 kilos. So you can have two people lifting it or just use an engine crane. So what we're doing here is we are putting some lifting straps on. So you need to put 4 of the S-shaped hooks on with lifting strap, and then balance the actual tab this way. Now what we are doing is we're gonna lower the tab so it fits between the rollers, and now we can bring the tab into position. So now we're putting the tab approximately in position where it is, and we can lower it down nice and gently where we about think where it will be. That will still give us the opportunity to still move it a little bit. It's not in a full position yet. Okay, so now we're going to put the next plate section into it. So that's the front left, what we call the blind plate section. That obviously goes next to the wheel alignment section. So again, I'm just going to guide this through now, and we lower it in. And now we have to make sure that obviously that the two plates are again nice and parallel. For that we've got a jig, and we're going to set up the jig for that now. So these are the surround sections of the front brake plate part, and we're going to use those surround section as a jig. There is 2 holes located in here. This will be the exact distance that you will need between the two systems, and then also it'll become a nice square. So we'll put that in now. And you can see I leave one side hanging a little bit, so it is easier for me to put the bolts in. These ones go into where this little bolt hole here is, and just put them in. So now we got the 2 tabs already in it. We'll just remove the hooks that we needed. We'll put the rear jig in as well, so then that assures us that we have a completely square section. We'll then gonna measure it to the side wall to make sure it is parallel with where we want it, and then we can start drilling the dynobolt holes. So now what we're doing is we're bringing the main cables in. Now there is 2 ways that you can install the machines. You can install it as an above ground cable unit, or we prefer to put the cables in ground. The in ground is the way we show it to you with the concrete cutter. But you could also use an above ground cable, which then would go between the systems like that, and there is more of them available for you to come out through the side. The cables get connected in here in our main department, so we'll push this cable through here. There's a special cable cut out for it. Comes out here. It goes over to the other side and then gets connected inside the cable output where it says output. Now we are ready to put the surround pieces on. The surround pieces are lying in here, and you can see here it's got a cutout where the cables exit, and that is on both sides. All right, so now we have this cable. These ones are the surrounds, they go in it, and you can see that this part will fit underneath your surround nicely. The same on this side with the surround, and you can clearly see now we would be easily, just lift that up a little bit, this lifts up a little bit, and put this underneath, and that way you can have an above ground cable cover. Okay, so this is the wheel alignment bolt section. On the alignment plate there is a little pin that sticks out, and this bolt head will need to be touching that little stick. So you basically push it in here. Okay, so this bolt head now needs to go onto this little pin. This is your alignment pin. So carefully I'm pushing the alignment pin back. I line it up with the hole that's already in your surround here, and now I'll turn it in. So the distance that is needed is, if I push this plate all the way to the right, then the pin should just touch the bolt head, and then you know you got the precise alignment measurement. And then you'll basically tighten this up and your alignment section is done.